Why am I slightly to the left? Come on, EP today as well. Let me put on some BGM. How's the audio balance? How is the audio balance, everyone? Yeah. Yesterday, お疲れ様だね。Good. In all of the universe, but I was like, bruh, 恥ずかしい。バラエティ面白かった。よかったです。I'm glad you guys think so. It was my first time, so I was honestly like really nervous for it. But like Kazuki senpai, Emma senpai, and then Miruto like made it a lot more like fun as well, even despite being nervous. So yeah. And of course I've been like running around everywhere recently because just been busy with like a lot of stuff. So like EP そうみんな優しかった。Okay, let me quickly thank the super chats that I got. I got a couple of supers during the stream. ともひろペン太郎さん、スパチャありがとうございます。Maria is our greatest idol. Thank you. 加藤さん、23時スパありがとうございます。Thank you for the super. アリオネさん、Thank you for the super. 絶名前読めない待って3スパチャありがとうございますゼックさんスパチャありがとうございますカポスさんスパチャ Thank youウィーズルさんめちゃくちゃ楽しい企画ありがとうございましたおつまりありがとうスパチャ Thank you あと掃除さんもスパチャありがとうございますそう昨日のねなんか企画はほら I should speak in English So yesterday the actual stream itself because of the my gosh, my words are not in my brain anymore. Okay, because of the stream yesterday, the contents of the stream yesterday made it so that we need to not be able to see the stream screen. We also could not have the chat visible to us, like while we were actually doing the games. And so I wasn't able to see the chat for a lot of the times. But I went back and had a look afterwards and I was like, wow, thank you guys so much. Wow, you know? マリーシー企画面白かった。ピオちゃんのお披露目のメスマライザーめっちゃ興奮綺麗だった。ありがとう。デネブターンさんスポチャありがとうございます。そうメスマライザーのこともちょっとだけ後でまたお話しします。その先にね昨日の 3D 企画のI'm gonna talk about the 3D stream I did yesterday, and then I'll talk about Mesmerizer with Pyo-chan afterwards, okay? Which horse is this? Okay, anyways, what's it called? So yeah, the 3D stream that we did looked fun yesterday. Thank you. It was really fun. We showed up and then of course we had like rehearsals beforehand as well. showed up. I went in and I was checking all the backgrounds and stuff. I was just like, yeah, this one okay, that one okay, can we use this and can we use that? And I was like, okay, you know what, let's cast a magic spell so that the stream can't actually see these stuff, because if it is, then we will get spoiled for the games and stuff. So that's why, like, during the charades, we went up to like look at stuff, but there was nothing there. It was because we cast a magic spell on it, you know. And then hold on, let me. Do I have? I do have. Okay. Hello. So yeah, and then what's it called? So I went in, I checked the stuff, and then what's it called? I went through the whole thing with stuff as well. I was just like, yeah, I want it to be like this, and then we would go from this, into this, and then into the games, and then we were talking about the games, and like I didn't actually know any of the sentences or the words, but like when I was talking to like studio staff about it, and Mane-san was the one that actually thought up of the words for it. Mane-san thought up all the words and the sentences for yesterday, and she pretty much was like, yeah, I made it very hard. And I was like, oh, but the game itself, even with simple words, it would be difficult. So like, anyways, studio staff was just like, I think the sentences are too long. And I was like, okay, how about, and then Mane-san came back for a while, and I was like, hey, can we make it shorter? And then she was like, no. I was like, oh, okay then. You know what I mean? She straight up just went, no. And I was like, oh, okay. And so like last minute we decided to slightly change the game up a little bit. And so what happened was, we were like, okay, for the English ones, I will be the answer person for every single sentence. That way, like, it would be kind of funny, because the other members will be like trying to figure out how to say it, because they didn't get help with how to pronounce stuff, so they had to try and read the English themselves too. And I was like, I feel like that would be funny, right? みーさん、スパチャありがとうございます。ずっとやりたいって言ってた 3D バラエティが見れてとっても嬉しかったし、楽しかったよ。ありがとうございます。まだね、やりたいバラエティ面のものもまだあります。イェイ！ミニボタン23スパありがとう。Thank you, thank you. So yeah, anyways, like, So I was like, okay, how about this? I feel like if we just had the headphones off for the Japanese one, it'll be too easy. So, like, I was like, it would be too easy. And so, I want to keep the headphones on for the Japanese one, since we can all speak Japanese anyway. So I was like, and then I was like, Mane-san, shorten it. I was like, at least shorten the Japanese sentences, please. And so then Mane-san shortened the Japanese Dengon game the sentences for that one, and it was kind of crazy. Oh, arigatou. Yeah. And oh my gosh, dude, the one that I had to read, I was like, what is this? And by the time towards the end, I was like, oh, now I know. 二頭を追う者は一頭も得ずですよね。二頭、やばい、my voice cracked. 二頭を追う者は一頭も燃えず。It was so funny though. いった燃える燃える二頭死ぬIt was so funny. Because like, what's it called? Kazaki senpai when she said the stuff, she put like movements to it, and I was just like, she's so funny. I know, it was so funny. And then Emma senpai being like, 1億もらえる? And I was like, oh my god, can you imagine? 1億もらいたいよ。で、2億もらえたら死ぬ。I'm sorry, it's like if you get, what's 1億? 1億. 1億. How many zeros in 1億? I only just recently figured out 1万, 10万 and stuff like that. 1億. ゼロ。ゼロが100 million. 100 million. Yeah. So it's like 1億 is 100 million, and so then it's like, if you receive 100 million yen, guessing. Oh, wait, you can receive 100 million yen, and then if you receive 200 million yen, you will die. That's what it became afterwards, and it was so funny. I choked on my own spit. そう、1億が燃えた？死んだ？ That was funny. Oh my god. Hold up. Okay, I'm chilling. I just have a fast metabolism. I spawned into this world with a fast metabolism. So no matter how much I eat, I still don't gain weight. Yeah. I eat a lot, actually. I eat a lot. Anyways, so then the gesture games, some of them were like really difficult, honestly. Power of metabolism, yeah. You probably burn a lot of calories from dancing? Maybe. Possibly. Okay, I was trying to say, what's it called? The gesture game, some of it was really hard. I was like, how the heck do I show, like, orca? シャチってどうやって説明すればいいんだろう? You know? And then, what's it called? I was like trying to do like the woo, woo. It's like that. And then like she was getting so close. She was just like, shark? Dolphin? I was just like, in between. Shark and dolphin, in between. And then she went like further, and I was like, no! Like she just kept going further and further from the actual like thingy. So I was like, okay. You know what? Pass. That's what happened. And then Momonga! Like how am I flying squirrel? At one point, I don't know if you guys figured out, but I was like, squirrel, wee! Wee! And I was like, okay, she's not getting this. How about this? Then I started drawing a tree with my hand. I was like, okay, ready? Trunk, leaves, tree, flying. That was in my head when I did the movements for like Momonga in general. I was just like, ready, trunk, leaves, and then it's a tree, right? Flying! And I was like, she's still not getting it. You know what? Maybe if I make her think squirrel, it'll be nice. So then I started like putting stuff in my hand, and like I pretend to eat nuts and stuff. And she said squirrel, and I was like, yes! And then she was just like, tabeteru. I was like, no! And then she was like, no, squirrel. And I was just like, yes, but wee! Like, you know? And then she didn't get it again. She was like, skydiving. I was like, chigang! But I think that was what made it even funnier. It made sense when I can see the answer. A lot of them are like that. Because when I was watching the other team like do the gestures, I was just like, what is happening? You know what I mean? Like, what is happening? And like plus like the afterwards I figured out what the other one was, like the other one that we couldn't get from the Sherlock Holmes. I was like, oh, I see. I couldn't think of it though. I think I wouldn't have known it until I saw the words for a second either. Yeah. No, but the what's it called? The spider one was really funny. The fact that like they did the spider, and then what's it called? Emma senpai and Kazaki senpai started arguing. Quiet ostriches quack. Quietly. And I was like, oh, okay. Quiet ostriches quack quietly. And then she was like, no. Quietly. She was like, you have to do the pose. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And so I was like, quiet ostriches quack quietly. It was really fun though. It was very, very fun. Yeah. That was funny. And also the what's it called? The greatest. Kazaki senpai is actually so genius at like gestures, honestly. And then do the breakdancing too, when she's just suddenly starts, she was like, you know, the sad face. Emma senpai be like, sorry for making you make such a sad face. Sorry. I know what it is. I just can't think of the word. So keep your stamina. Sorry. And it's so funny. Konbaririn. Welcome in. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And actually, I initially wasn't planning to do... I initially didn't plan to do, what's it called? Yes, okay, sorry, my brain stopped working for a second. I initially did not plan to do Batsugame. So I wasn't planning to do, like, the punishment game or anything. But when we were talking about it, like, we were sitting there, and then we were, like, talking about it. It's just like, oh, what happens to the team that guesses less? And it's like, is there gonna be Batsugame? I was like, no. And then my manager was like, you have to do Batsugame. Mane-san was, like, standing there, like, in the background while we were, like, discussing. Like I was explaining everything. Like, the whole flow of the stream. And then she just goes, you have to do Batsugame. You have to do punishment game. She really wanted us to do the punishment game. And then so she was just like, I'm gonna go off to find spicy food. And so she tried to find like spicy food somewhere, but she couldn't find it. So when she came back, she was like, I couldn't find spicy food, but I found this instead. Sour gum. And I was like, oh, I mean, if it's sour gum, I'll probably be fine. Like, yeah, I was like, I'm good with sour stuff. So then, pretty much, yeah, we had I was like, okay, like, we'll see how it goes. But when we did get the Batsugame, like when Meruto and I we're like, okay, we gotta do the Batsugame now. Hold up, my brain. Batsugame is punishment game. Punishment game. When we did the punishment game, I got the what's it called? The sour gum, and I was like, alright guys, sour gum, let's go. And so we had one each, right? And then I looked at it and I opened it and I was like, oh, there's two. There's this too. So I was like, I can make the senpais also eat it too. You know what I mean? Literally was just like, I can make the senpais also eat the sour stuff. So anyways, I ate it and I was just like, mecha oishii. It was sour, but I like sour stuff. So then I gave it to, because before we started, we were talking about who was good with spice. Who was good with spice and who was good with sour things. And then I heard that Kazaki senpai was also pretty good with sour stuff. Like she likes sour things. And I was like, okay. So if I eat it, and I was just like, hey, it was so yummy. And then I went up to like, what's it called? Kazaki senpai. Because I was just like, hey, it's really yummy. Do you want one? There's another one. And then so she took it and she ate it. She was like, oh yeah, it is nice, right? And so that meant the last person is left over, Emma senpai. And then we know, what's it called? We know that what's it called? The Emma senpai and Meruto were bad with sour, so that's why. That's why I was like trying to like get them to both eat it, right? And then she actually ate it. She was like, it's bad, yeah. It was quite interesting. Umeboshi? I haven't had a super sour umeboshi before though. I don't know. I'm pretty good with pretty good with sour stuff. 結局全員食べたね。そう。それね、わざと。I was trying to make it so that everybody eats it. I was like, it would be kind of funny because the people who's not even on the Batsugame, what's it called? Still end up getting the Batsugame. Batsugame is a punishment game. And it did happen, so it was pretty funny. No, I honestly really like sour foods though. Like, okay, I saw like Candy Tune, Bibiam. She was just like, I love vinegar, and then I always like put it in my I put vinegar in rice and I eat it like that. And I was like, I've never tried that, but I would love to try that out. I wonder what kind of vinegar she uses to put on the rice, and what kind of rice and vinegar she uses. And also, does she have it hot or cold? You know what I mean? But then she was like, it was at a variety show where she was going to eat susomen, which is vinegar somen. What's somen? I don't know. Somen. Fine white noodles, apparently. It's like vinegar mixed with fine white noodles or whatever. I think it's like a dipping noodle kind of thingy. Yeah, vinegar somen. And then so she was just like, yeah, I usually put vinegar on my rice and I eat it like that. And then she tried the somen and she just spat it out because it was really sour. And I was like, you know what? I really want to try that. I really want to try the vinegar somen. 食べてみたい。そう、すそうめん食べてみたいよ。I really want to try that. And there's more like somewhat Batsugame stuff that I do kind of have in mind, but I'll have to see how I can do, like how I can like make a stream around it as well. ポン酢なら美味しそうだけど。いや、ポン酢は普通に美味しいよ。いや、すそうめんも食べてみたい。I like ポン酢。I think ポン酢 is my favorite condiment now. ポン酢。Alright guys, let me talk about Pio-chan's 3D. Pio-chan's 3D. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Because let's start with the baseball. Okay, so I was the hair. Like, okay, even though I appeared in 2D, I was actually there in person as well. Like they were in 3D, and I was sitting there in front of them in 2D, right? So I was watching the entire time, and they were yapping so much. Oh my gosh, you know, yeah. It was crazy. Okay, they did it in one take, but they yapped so much, and I was just like, a lot of the times they would talk and they wouldn't stop, right? And I was just like, okay, next. And at one point, you can see it in the video too, like in the stream, okay? They were like, bye friends, and then they kept talking. They said bye friends and then kept talking. And I was sitting there like, I have another line after this. I have to say something else after this. When are the friends actually gonna say bye? Are the friends still gonna be here? Why are they still talking? And I was sitting there like waiting for them to finish talking and everything, and then they weren't. They just kept going on and on. So I was just like, we're gonna be out of time soon. We're gonna be out of time soon. And I was just like, goodbye to the friends, because they weren't saying bye. They said bye and they did not leave. Yes, anyway, so I was just like, goodbye to the friends! And then continued on after that. Yeah, so that was like one chaos from the baseball part. The yap just never ends. Okay, next thing was Mesmerizer. So Mesmerizer, what's it called? Pyo-chan was just like, I want to sing this song. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, I like that song too. But I knew I was gonna struggle because I can't sing fast. 早口言葉はまあまあなんだけど I can't sing quite fast, so I struggled a lot with like actual the fast part. And I sang Teto part, right? テトのパートを歌ったんですけど、そのなんだろう it was okay, it was like Teto's part is faster than Miku's part. That's why he was striking everyone out. Yeah, that's why like every time something happens, I'll be like, strike! Next! Up next! And stuff like that. Okay, Mesmerizer, I struggled so much with the actual like the vocals because it was so fast. Teto's part is faster than the Miku's part. Maman-san, thank you, welcome to the dollhouse. Like the high note isn't as bad for me. It's the speed. そんなあなたにおすすめ最高級の逃避行をやがてカンペの罠に釣られたものが救われる。おはやそうけの沙汰ではやっていけないこのシャバじゃあえてそしらぬ顔で身を任せるのが最適だ。You know what I mean? I actually, what's it called? めっちゃ頑張った。頑張って覚えた。I learned it like so much. 振り付け You like the choreography? マリアが作ったんです。I made the choreography that we did for Mesmerizer, guys. そう、マリアがね、振り付け作って、ピヨちゃんにね、教えたんですよ。振り付け作って、ピヨちゃんに教えて、そんで自分のパートを踊った。にゃーBut I simplified it a lot. めっちゃ可愛かった。ありがとう。My favorite part that I was like, I said to Pyo-chan, I was like, I can simplify every other part, but this part you have to do. And it was the あなたと眠くなる朝から眠るメスマライズ頭が眠れてる。そこは絶対にやってください。You know what I mean? Is what I said. I was like, you have to do it. And I was like, because this part is like the part where they're trying to like hypnotize someone, right? They're trying to hypnotize and brainwash someone. So I was like, let's do like a puppet like pose. I was just like a puppeteer kind of situation. So you go down, dun, dun, dun. And then the last part, the shutdown, is like the boom. What's it about? Right? But yeah, so then I pretty much I was just like, you're gonna be at the front, and then like what's it called? You do the right, left, around, and then free a little bit, and then just by shut down you go shut down, and then you lean over, and then I will pop up behind, and it goes. 頭からだけ胸まさかあまたたぶらかす目の前で揺れがこうが動かなくなるかなっためっちゃ頑張ったんですラップできないのマリアはだから超頑張った It was my favorite part, yes. I saw like the comments being like 高音高お高え声高え今日はできないと思うんだけど Cause like my vocal cords is not in the best condition today なんだっけそうだよねできるか残業は通りないなっているすり減る体験せいやいや目のないのでしょ But that's not the highest part because the last bit goes up a note At the last chorus goes even higher. It goes. Yeah. I know, but if anything, the high notes is easier for me than the high notes are easier for me than the rap part. The first part was I struggled so much. I was just like, oh my gosh, Pyo-chan, I am struggling so much with the rap. Like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna do my best, but oh my gosh, it's so hard. You know what I mean? めっちゃ上がったよだった。Yeah. But I can do it now. I can do the rap part. そんなあなたにおすすめ最高級の逃避行やがて完璧な罠に釣られたものから救われるもはやショックの沙汰ではやっていけないこのシャバじゃあえてそしれぬ顔で身を任せるのが最適解ほらできるI practiced so much for that one. I practiced so much because it was so fast. Oh, やばいダンス練習の時のピオちゃんのエピソードとかありますか？あります。For the dance practice when I was teaching him the dance, right? Like previous, but I made the dance. I recorded myself doing the dance and I sent it to Pyo-chan. I was just like, Pyo-chan, please try to look through this and learn as much as you can, right? Like, it's okay if you don't learn at all, but try and learn as much as you can on, like, through the video itself first, so that the actual dance lesson will go smoother. And then so, like, I got to, I pretty much was like, alright, Pyo-chan, it's time to do the dance. And then when I first went to like the gym, and then he was just like, oh, I was watching it and I kind of know a little bit, but I can't dance it at all. I was like, that's okay, I can go through it with you. And then pretty much pretty much I started like teaching him the dance, and he was just like, oh yeah, I get it, I got it now, yeah, this is easy. And I was just like, okay, good. And then I'll be like, I won't dance along with you, try dancing by yourself, because my part is slightly different to yours, since like, you know, it's like two different parts. And then so I know both Pyo-chan's part and my own part, because obviously I made the dance. But like while I was teaching him, I was dancing his part along with him, so that he could like watch and learn, you know what I mean? So then I was like, okay, we're gonna play the music, okay? I was like, we're gonna play the music and you're gonna dance it, see how well you can do it. So I play the music, and he'll be like, and he's like, what's next? You know what I mean? He'll be like, yeah, I remember it. And then when you actually try dancing it, he's just like, what's next? It was really funny though, because it's true. When it comes to dancing, when you're like being taught and stuff and you're watching someone else or watching something do it, it's a lot easier to actually remember it. But then once you like turn off like the music and you're just like actually dancing it by yourself, it becomes a lot more difficult. Like you tend to forget everything immediately after. It's pretty much. I know. He tried his very best. Dun, 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 actually, to say something else, actually, I think initially we were planning to do a different dance, but due to some difficulties, we couldn't do the dance. So, like, Pyo-chan was trying to look for a different dance that we could do, and then I was like, "It's okay, Pyo-chan, I'll make a dance for us." And so, pretty much, I was busy for like a couple days after I said that. And then I was like, okay, I gotta lock in. And so after a stream, I forgot which stream it was, but after a stream, I was just like, alright, let's lock in and make this dance. And so I think I made the dance, the choreo for it in 2 hours. And then I recorded it, and I was like, okay, Pyo-chan, here you go. Let me know if there's any part that you're like, I don't like this part. And then yeah, so that's how it happened. But teaching Pyo-chan, he got hungry midway through, and then he was like, let's have a food break. Yeah. So, let's have a food break. So we had a food break in the middle of it. And then the funniest part was at the end of the day, first day when I was like, what's it called, actually teaching him the dance, he was like, I remember it. And then tojitsu, on the actual day of when we had to like do the dance, he forgot a lot of it. So I went through it again on the day with him, and I was just like, yeah, so it's like this, okay, up, down, right up, down, up, down. Come into the middle! Puppet! Crazy version! And I was like yelling out the directions for like before we actually did the actual dance, so that he could learn it. Essentially, like, I mean, practice it a little bit more before the actual thing. But he did really well! I'm really proud of how he did, how it turned out. Really proud of how it turned out. Oh, another thing actually. Sorry, I keep like saying it's done and then I have another thing. Okay, another thing was during the dance, when we were actually doing the dance, right? Pyo-chan just kept coming closer and closer. Like we were meant to. So the positioning on the floor, usually in dance, there's like the 0 is center position. Center is 0, and then there's 1, 2, 3 on both sides, right? So we were standing on like 1.5 on like the opposite sides. So I was standing on 1.5 on the left, he was standing on 1.5 on the right. But as he was dancing, he just kept coming closer and closer and closer, that by the end of the song, he was just standing on the left side of 0. He was like, he just kept coming closer and closer, and I was just, oh my god, Pyo-chan, position! Yeah, he was like walking, like, I don't know, like a dog. Like a large dog. It's just like, you know, like 追ってくるの、なんか王権みたいな感じ。So it's like we're dancing and then he's just slowly getting closer and closer. It was really funny though. Position keep は大変そう。そう。Yeah! Okay, so like he was doing that in the practice as well. So like I asked Mane-san, I was like, Mane-san, can you stand on this position so that Pyo-chan knows to go back to it? And then Mane-san stood in the position and was like, Pyo-chan left! I mean, Pyo-chan, position! And then Pyo-chan was just too like into like the dancing, so he didn't even notice Mane-san afterwards. So that it was funny though. I think it was funny. His energy was good though. His energy was great. Okay, so the other one. So I think he mentioned that he talked about what's it called? Pyo-chan talked about how I made a dance, a choreo for his original song as well. The reason I didn't actually mention anything about the original song was because I made a dance and I was like, yeah, you guys should do this, and this, and then you should change positions from here, and here. But then, other than the position changes, which I was like, kind of like off camera, running around being like, you swap, and doing gesture games and stuff, so that they did do the position changes. But other than that, the choreography I made, they all forgot. because it was like a really last minute thingy that like they didn't have time to practice or learn the choreography at all. So like it's pretty normal that they forgot the actual choreography that I made. Because there's no time to practice. If you don't have time to practice, it's really hard to do stuff. But what happened was, like when we were like waiting for like the okay for the camera tests and stuff, because we had to like wait for the camera tests to be available. And so I was just sitting there scrolling on my phone casually scrolling through stuff, like looking at things, right? And then all of a sudden from like the like corner of my eye, I see a hand point at me and Pio-chan's voice just booming across the room, right? And then he's just like, Maririn! He just goes, Maririn! That's Maririn! And I was like, I was in a daze scrolling through my phone, so I didn't know what was happening. And I was like, what? Me? What about me? Me? And then he was like, yeah, Maririn, you can make a dance for us. And I was like, huh? Right now? You know what I mean? And I was like, right now? And then, what's it called? He was like, yeah! And I was like, oh, like a whole song? Like, what song? And he's just like, yeah, my original song. I'll send it to you right now. And I was like, okay. So then I sat there and I was listening to the song and I was like, okay, how do I make a dance that's easy enough for everyone to learn in literally like 5 minutes? Like, how do I make a dance? And then they were just like, you can just make a dance for the chorus. And I was like, okay. And I made one really like as simple as I could. But the only person who kind of did it was Minoko. Minoko was the only one who could actually remember it a little bit, I feel. The other two, I think they were like more, they were too like into the actual like freestyle that they kind of just forgot. いや、振り作ったんですけど、ちょっとね、短時間だったんで、できるだけ簡単にしたもので、なんだろう、実際ね、覚えてもらう時間がもう本当になかったんですよ。もう5分以内で覚えてくださいってぐらいだったんで、それで多分忘れちゃったんだと思う。もう本当に。マジで、なんか、キャメラチェックの入る前の、なんか、10分ぐらいで、マリリンなら振り付け作ってくれるでしょ？今曲送るからって。だから本当に振り付けね5分で考えて5分で教えようとしたんですけど、メロコ以外はもう覚えてなかった。メロコもあんまり覚えられてなかったけどね。Yeah, I just said what I said in English in Japanese. Like I literally, like, it was a muchaburi. Actually, muchaburi. Muchaburi, what's it called? Like sudden. How do you say muchaburi in English? Muchaburi. Okay. Unreasonable request, I guess, because it was literally 5 minutes before camera check, and then he was just like, yeah, you can make a dance. And so I made the dance in 5 minutes and tried to teach them in 5 minutes. And then it didn't even happen. I'm kidding. But it's okay, because like the actual, like, what's it called? The actual, them doing the free stuff turned out better. And I feel like it fit the song better anyways. So I was like, I don't think you needed a choreography for this. Now? Hello. But it was really funny. But I'm really, like, what's it called? Thankful and happy to get this opportunity. I was happy to get this opportunity to be able to make a dance and also be part of, like, what's it called? My Kohai's 3D, since, you know, Pio-chan worked really hard on his 3D, and he had, like, his script was so, like, in detail. He was like, I want this to be exactly like this, so he wrote everything in, like, a lot of details. And so it was really, like, he worked really hard, and it was really interesting as well. Like, the whole watch was, it was like, even with ADHD, I could focus because there was just so much happening, guys. Hello. So yeah, めっちゃ良かったんでみんな見てください。 Emi's 3D debut was so fun. Yeah, it was lots of fun. So that's like a couple of the stuff that I can talk about today. But there's a lot of projects that I'm still working on in the background that I can't talk about until a later date again. So hopefully I don't forget everything. Hopefully I don't forget everything, because then it'll be not as much to talk about again. But yes, there's more projects that's coming up soon. Yeah. Yippee! Okay, but I think I'm probably just gonna do like a 1 hour stream today. そこまで長く配信しないと思います今日は。Just because I should rest my voice a little bit more, and also like I said to my friend that I would go eat with her, so I'll do that. Ne. Hi. But I think because I've been like running around and doing everything so much recently, I've just been extra tired because I need to have just like 1 day of just sleeping in. But I'm also just like, I want to stream when I'm finally at home, not doing anything. So if I'm actually fully at home, like I feel like wanting to stream is like part of my brain. Hopefully I'll be able to rest a little bit more soon though. Soon. Very soon. Wah! Wah! Arigato! Kosa-san, thank you for the Streamlabs! 3D バラエティ主催お疲れ様でした。メンバーのバランスも良くてすごく面白かったです。あのメンバーでアイドルまたやってほしい。メズマライズもとっても良かったです。ありがとうございます。Thank you! What's it called? What's it called? The member for the 3D yesterday, actually the way I got to like get closer to all of the members was 1. Meruto was from Mahjong. We were on the same table, and then we were like, oh my gosh, yeah, blah 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 blah, before the actual like event started. So we talked about a little bit, and then what's it called? And then Meruto like and I started chatting a little bit like in the behind the scenes, and then we were talking about dances and stuff. And then we also actually went to like a lunch. We had sukiyaki at lunch a while ago. Emma senpai was from the... Was it Street Fighters? Or is it Tekken? Oh my god, dude. I get those two confused a lot. It's not good, not good. それTekkenだよね。Tekkenだよね。Yeah, Tekken. It was like the Tekken tournament. We were on the same team. In Abyssal Syndrome. And I talked to her for the first time during that time. And then like what's it called? We were like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. And then we started talking about like other stuff behind the scenes too. And then for Kazaki senpai, I often play Overwatch with her offline. So like offline, I usually play a lot of Overwatch with Kazaki senpai, and so that's how I ended up knowing Kazaki senpai. And then actually, when I was doing like the dance practices and dance lessons for Overture, I did go to a dinner with Kazaki senpai and Emma senpai at the same time. And so like yeah, I went to eat with went out to eat with all three of them. And that's how like what's it called? I was just like, okay, let me invite this and this. Initially I also wanted to invite Petra senpai, However, of course, Petra Senpai had her Shanghai live, right? So she had her, like, what's it called, this SITR live, which is like part of the world tour. なんだろう. So like she was busy on the day, and of course like I moved the actual stream behind the, like, after the Shanghai live, but because there's like rehearsals and everything as well, it would have been hard for her to participate. Maybe next time I might be able to invite Petra Senpai when she does not have a live on the same day. But you know, the studio is hard to actually like book sometimes, so sometimes you just gotta like be able to, sometimes you just have to do the streams even when there's other streams happening around it. Yeah, one day. But my next big stream, sorry I screamed so loud. My next big stream-ish is gonna be on the 18th. 18th, guys, don't forget. 18日に3周年カラオケやります。I'm gonna do the 3-year anniversary celebration karaoke. Yay! You guys can call for encore. I didn't say anything. Yay! Make sure you be there, okay? It's the 18th. I'm gonna have to double check with Mane-san like about the starting time to be extra sure. But yeah, so I prepared a bunch of songs. A lot of the songs I haven't sung on stream before, so look forward to it. Alright. あとなんだろう。I'm also working on something else in the background, but it might end up getting delayed just a little bit, so I gotta wait. I gotta wait a little bit more. Da-da-da, I'm so hungry now. Yippee! Yippee! Alright, guys. But there's a lot more stuff that I wanna do. Regular streams though, like being able to do my like actual gaming streams along with my other regular style streams is gonna have to wait a little bit longer because I'm going to be I'm still in the process of like moving and stuff. So, like with the housing stuff, like getting housing and everything. So once I get the house and I get the table, I mean even if I don't get a chair, it's fine, but like hopefully get a chair as well. And then I set up my PC, that's when I'll go back to my regular streams. So look forward to it. Yay! So yeah, once I set up my PC again, that's when I'll go back to my regular streams again. I just hope it's soon. I hope it's really soon. Also, I have to like pray that the internet at my new house would be good. Would be good. But we should be able to go back to regular streams by the end of this month. Should be. Should be. 本当に should be. About offline work. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. Lots of fun. I do want to do a watch along for Kosien. I really want to do a watch along for Kosien, so I'm gonna try and figure out how I can do that, how I can get that done. So 頑張ります。甲子園のね、同時視聴やりたい。いや甲子園もうもう大活躍を。そう、なんか切り抜きよく見たんですよね。防御力が高いんだっけ。 Like what's it called, my character in 甲子園 has like really strong like protecting, like defense, really strong defense. That's what it is. And I saw a couple of like what's it called, clips of like where my character just like catches the ball and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, let's go. 楽しみ、めっちゃ楽しみ。そう、alright guys, but today I go bye bye. Today bye bye. I will see when my next stream will be. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. We'll have to check. I'll have to check. Because I am going to be quite busy for the next 3 days. I'll be quite busy for the next 3 days. And then like preparing for a lot of stuff. And what's it called? On the 18th, of course, we have the karaoke, so I gotta prepare for that too. So yeah, if I can't stream, just watch my shorts and my VODs. If that okay? If I don't end up streaming, do watch my shorts and VODs and stuff. So yeah, thank you for coming by today. Arigatou. Thank you. I'm gonna go eat food. Yay. Alright, ではね。It's time for おつまりりん。めっちゃお腹すいた。おつまりりん、ありがとうね。